So you're thinking about living in Coconut Grove, but you're not quite sure what it's like? Well, this video will explain to you, give you an idea of what it's like to be in Coconut Grove. I have a tour. We're going to walk to the village of Coconut Grove, then we're going to see South Grove, North Grove, Center Grove, and some properties that are on the water. This will give you an idea, and of course, if you'd like more information, you can always reach out to me. Hi, my name is Cy Green. I'm a real estate agent here in Miami. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and this channel is for people that would like to have a better idea what it's like to live, work in Miami, and also, obviously, they're thinking about purchasing a home. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and also please subscribe below. All my contact information is there. Otro detalle es que yo hablo español. Ustedes tienen algunas preguntas sobre español, no tengan miedo en contactarme. Bueno, ahora vamos a caminar por las calles de Coconut Grove. Okay, right now we're going to walk through the streets of Coconut Grove so you have a better idea what it's like to live in Coconut Grove. And by the way, this is like one of the most talked about neighborhoods in Miami, and also it's one of my favorites because I was raised here. I spent the first 20 years of my life here. So it's a great neighborhood. Hope you enjoy it. Bye. See you soon. So we're in Coconut Grove right now. On my left side is Main Highway, and I'm just going to take a walk into the center of Coconut Grove, kind of give you an idea. By the way, there are a few gated communities along the way. This one's a well-known community. It's called Camp Biscayne. Take a quick look. Mainly there's single-family homes here in this area, right here. We'll take a look at those later on in the video, get an idea of what they're selling for, what the asking prices are. By the way, that tarp over there that's covering the Coconut Grove Playhouse, that is going some renovations. It's been going on for a while now, but it really was quite a beautiful theater. This is Main Highway, and over there, it's a Taurus Steakhouse. It was established in 1969, and before that it was called La Casita. So we're going a little bit further up. You're going to see a lot of people running, walking their dogs, walking their children, biking. There's a lot of activity goes on here at Coconut Grove, especially on the weekends. Hello. So here's another area called Avatar, and these are mainly townhomes that they have here. Again, there's another gated community. Just so you know, to give you an idea, the other side of this is Biscayne Bay. And what's nice, obviously, if you live here, if you're in this area, you're just gonna walk across and you're in the middle of the downtown Coconut Grove. The other thing that I really like about Coconut Grove, other than being raised here and spending most of my childhood here, is that everything is very green, which is really nice. To my left here is the Coconut Grove Library. The building behind there is called the Mutiny. It's actually originally was a hotel, then it converted to condominiums. And now it's going through another transition. They actually might be tearing it down and putting up a larger building there. To my left up there is this Coconut Grove Sailing Club. I believe that was established, if I remember correctly, it was 1946 by a bunch of locals that love sailing. And they have great classes there for youth during the summer. My son went there a couple of times during the summer to learn how to sail. So straight ahead of me is Bayshore Drive. So here you're going to have condominiums, where you have the Mutiny, you have the Harbor, then you have Grove Towers, Park Grove. Obviously the ones in the back are newer. These that you see in the meet, the first three are built, first three are actually built in the 70s. And let's see here, it's Coconut Grove Sailing Club, which is right there. If you ever want to join, the membership's pretty inexpensive. And of course, you can always walk down to the bay here. Back to the park. I see they have something going on there today. And like I said, they have skateboarding here as well, basketball, got a lot of things to do here. And there's a restaurant here as well called Glass and Vine. It's actually really beautiful at night when you come here. That's another view for the restaurant. By the way, there's a poinciana tree there. Isn't that beautiful? It blooms this time of year. It's also very messy too if you have one in your yard, but it is beautiful. So all those are the townhomes I was telling you about, the cloisters that we walked off of walked by on Main Highway. You can see they start from the left all the way to the right, and it goes all the way to the bay. Of course, the ones that are closer to the bay and have a great bay view would be going for a little bit higher price. As I said before, they're roughly around 3,000 to 4,000 square feet, 3 or 4 stories high. They're really very large. And again, these are townhomes, not single-family homes. By the way, when you do this, you want to have water shoes on because there's no smooth concrete here. It's all seagrass. So you have all the mangroves. These are all protected. If you want more information on this, let me know. I'll send it to you. Going to go north on Bayshore Drive, and I'm going to show you a couple of condominiums so you get a feel for the area. This first building here is a condominium. It's called the Mutiny. Originally it was a hotel many years ago. Then it was converted into a hotel condo, and that was built I think in the late 70s, maybe even earlier. They may be going through some transformation. They may be changing this building. Actually, they might tear it down and build something else there. In the Mutinies, under what's available there would be, let's see, under 1.5 million. The next one, this is Yacht Harbor. This was built in the 70s. They're roughly under 2 million. Let's say condominiums here, let's say the 2-3 bedrooms are under 2 million. The balconies on these are huge, but unfortunately these older condos, they go through assessments. I think Yacht Harbor's had about 5 assessments in the last 10 years or so. And it's based on the square footage of your condominium, so it can get a little expensive. That's something to be aware of when you're, buying a condominium. You definitely want to see, what the budgets are, what the upcoming assessments are. It's something to keep in mind. You can see they're doing some work up there now. Then the next one, that's Grove Towers. That's a third one over. It's Grove Towers that was built in the 80s, and there are 2 bedrooms in there, let's say under 2 million. And also, as we go a little bit further out, you're going to see there's 2 large condos there. It's Grove Park Condo, and they varied. They're enormous. They're at 3,000, 4,000 square feet. They go between, let's say, 4 to as much as $12 million. Actually, there was a sale there not too long ago, I think for $15 million. They're fairly new. They were built like in the last 8 years. It's 2 towers there, Park 1, Park 2. It's a little bit better view of this. So you have an entrance here. You have an entrance on South Bayshore Drive. It goes all the way to Tiger Tail, which is another street. There's also another entrance on Tiger Tail too, depending on which building you're in. And of course, these have a lot of amenities. So this is still on Bayshore Drive, but where that bus is going, that's Mary Street. And that is going up to Grand Avenue and then to Mayfair in the heart of Coconut Grove, where we were earlier. This is Regatta Park and Dinner Key Marina, which we'll walk over in a little bit. Originally, this was a hangar. They had large buildings here because during World War II, they did the training for the planes and also for the PT boats as well in this area. And then later was converted into large, retail space. And now it's been converted into a park. Right now we're on the corner of Bayshore Drive and 27th Avenue. That's the Ritz-Carlton. Those are the residences. On one side you have the hotel, and then the other side you have the residences. That's about maybe 4 other buildings or condominiums built between 10 to 20 years. This whole area on my left side was full of small hotels. When I was a kid, we used to go pool hopping from the different motels. They're all 1 or 2 story motels. And of course, they've been long since torn down and made into these condominiums. Also, we'll be entering North Grove. One of the nice things about North Grove is that you are close to the parks. You're also close to Key Biscayne, which has beaches, and you're also close to downtown. So this is Grove at Grand Bay. Again, we're on South Bayshore Drive. Then further on, office building, and then over there, as you can see, is the Grosvenor House. Okay, so it's Miami City Hall. And just behind it, as I was saying before, is Dinner Key Marina, which we're going to take a look at right now. Okay, so here, we're at Pier 1. Here you have the, you'll see more of the marina. Also, you have dry dock where you can, depending on the size of your boat, you can store it over there. And also there's a restaurant over there called Regatta. It's a lot of fun. At night, it's a very active area. Further, just behind those boats, that is downtown Miami. That's why a lot of people like the Grove, because really you could bike there if you wanted to. It's very close by in terms of driving. It's about 10-15 minutes. Just depends on the hour of the day you go. It's very close, probably less than 2 miles. And of course, it's City Hall. All right, before we jump over to the Center Grove, I was going to stop at the Coconut Grove Farmers Market. It originally started about 18 years ago from a family that comes from the Redlands. It was all organic produce. Since then, it's grown, and now you have numerous vendors here selling different products. The original family's still here. They're still bringing some great selection of fruits and nuts and everything you can think of. And by the way, if you just stop over, make sure you buy or check out the fruit pies that they have. It's absolutely delicious. After this, we're going to go to Center Grove. This is Vietnamese, whatever.
Yeah, so we're a Vietnamese concept by Chef Phu. Chef Phu Vo, he's a Vietnamese chef.
Okay.
He's executive chef for a big catering company down here, and it's his first concept. And we do the banh mi sandwiches, 10-inch baguettes, different fillings inside. Range from like pork, chicken, short rib, we have a vegan option as well.
All right.
And then we also do like the Vietnamese coffee, bubble teas, etc.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I'll be coming back. I have to pick up my book, but I'll definitely be back. All right, so we're in Center Grove right now. Originally, many, many years ago, was zoned multifamily, meaning there were as many duplexes and quadruplexes in the area. So what's been going on over several decades is that builders have been coming in and they'll buy a duplex, a lot, small lot, like maybe 10,000 square feet, 9,000 square feet. And they'll tear down the duplex, and then they'll put in 2 townhouses townhouse. They look like townhomes, but the legal description is condominium. So I'll show you some examples of that. Right now we're on McDonald Avenue, and let's see, this is kind of a busy street, and I'll show you some examples of it. And this has been going on, I said, for years now. And the price ranges, let's say, for the condo townhomes, around, let's say, $1 million on up. It really depends on the year it was built, how big, the construction, number of rooms. Now, the newer ones are well over $2 million, but they're a pretty good size. But you'll see that again, it's very eclectic here, the architecture. So let's see, just to give you an idea. For example, to my left, we'll take a left turn here on Margaret Street. You can see something like this. It was recently built. Here's another example of what I was talking about earlier. This was originally, actually a few of them here, these are duplexes, and then they were converted into townhome condos or condo townhomes. You see they're pretty big. This one's probably about 2,600 square feet. And some of them have like a pool in the back, but of course a very small pool. So, but they're like a small house, 3, 2.5, and 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through South Coconut Grove to give you an idea of what the streets look like what some of the homes look like. You keep in mind the price range on the lower end in Coconut Grove would be about 1.7, 1.8. And then from there it goes up. For example, there was a sale not too long ago. I think it was a 1.8. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home on a smaller lot. Some of these homes are older. They're built in the 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. They've been reconfigured. Some of, if the lots are large lots, let's say 13, 14,000 square feet, it's an older home. Typically, they can be sold and knocked down by a developer, and then they build a larger home. But here you have an idea. It's a very beautiful area. So we'll take a look. We'll take a drive. All right. See you soon. Okay. So right now we are on Lejeune Road, or also it's known as Southwest 42nd Avenue. And to my right is Coral Gables. To my left is going to be, you'll see, is Coconut Grove. Yeah, Point Santa is going to be the next light. It's a through street, goes all the way to Douglas Road, which is 37th Avenue. It goes about 8 blocks down. This is rush hour right now. It's about 5:30, so it moves a little slow. This is a main thoroughfare. This actually, Lejeune Road goes all the way to the airport. You're about 20 minutes away from the airport from here. That's why a lot of people like this location. Okay, so this is Point Siena. There we go. Oh, it's Point Siena. There's some construction going on. As I said before, you're going to see some homes here that have been they're being torn down, or they've been bought by a developer and they're just being rented out for the time being until they decide to build on them. Now here's a home that was formerly, it was a large lot. It was a 1950s home here that was built here. And they tore that down and then they built this home here. It's very modern looking, as you can tell. Of course, you have the one next door, which was built in the 30s, maybe even 30s, 40s, just tell by the architecture. A lot of times they convert the garage that you see in front of me into a studio or an extra storage space. Here we do not have a lot of, we don't have any basements. Actually, you might run into a property in the Grove that has a basement, but it's very rare. So everything grows here in Coconut Grove. Remember, this is semi-tropics. So you'll see a lot of plant life here. This is a very lush yard. It's actually kind of low maintenance, really. By the way, that's a staghorn fern hanging from the tree right in front of me there. Those things are beautiful, and they take a long time to grow. There's one in the background as well. Okay, this is Ensenada. Let's see here. Let's go down to Ensenada. So every corner, every street can be a surprise, or maybe a disappointment, depends on your point of view. But you will see, as I said, the architecture here can be eclectic, and you just never know what to expect. The land, and also the landscaping. Some places are really well landscaped, and some people prefer to have a wild look to it. And here's a home. Again, this was built probably in the 40s. In front of me here, good sized lot. Across the street, by the way, this is Coral Gables. This is Lejeune's, Coral Gables. You'll see the difference between the two areas, but we'll talk about that another time in another video. Most likely a comparison between the gables and the Grove, or just Coral Gables itself. What we're going to do is we're going to go down Crawford to Douglas Road, also known as 37th Avenue, make a right, then we'll go down Royal Palm, and that would take us to Main Highway, and then Main Highway would take us into the Grove. But we've kind of done all that already. I already did that already on foot. You saw it earlier in the video. And we're about 2.5 miles from the center of Coconut Grove. So a lot of people, what they do is they get a cart like this fellow in front of us, or they bike, or they have a scooter, or they walk. As I was saying earlier, we're about 2.5 miles from the center of Coconut Grove, or 2 miles really. And some people walk, they take a scooter, they have a golf cart, and to walk into the Grove instead of driving. And it's why it's kind of like a village atmosphere. It's why a lot of people like to live here for that reason. Here's an interesting home. This home's been here quite a while. Let's see here. So here, we're in Royal Palm and Plaza Street. So you're going to see a home here. It was built probably in the 30s to my right. And then you have another home, which is actually behind it, which is very modern looking. If you can see that. By the way, it's like one of the few hills we have around here. We don't really have hills in Coconut Grove. Okay, so now we are in North Coconut Grove. And North Coconut Grove is larger or has more homes or landmass than, let's say, South Coconut Grove, okay? A lot of people do prefer this area because it's very close to downtown. But here you can see there's a lot of construction going on here to my right. As we go up. And again, you have more choices as far as real estate is concerned. Now, prices could vary between, let's say, maybe just under 2 million, all the way up to 10 million. Okay, and you'll see all different types of architecture here. The lots have tend to be a little bit larger here on South Grove as well. Or North Grove. The lots are larger. And we do love our trees, as you can see. In many cases, you really can't see the homes because they're either gated and there's a lot of trees. Now we're on Seminole Street and we're turning left on Tiger Tail, which is kind of a busy street, especially during during rush hour. So we're still in North Coconut Grove. We're going to be entering a little subdivision called Bay Heights. And you'll see it's a little bit different than the other parts of Grove that we've looked at. The landscaping is a little bit more tailored. And again, as far as price range is concerned, you can see the very different size homes, smaller homes, larger homes. But again, the lots tend to be a little bit larger here. So you're looking at I'd say about 2.5 on the low end, all the way up to, let's say, 8 million. It depends, again, whether it's super new construction, it could go for more. And of course, depends on the size. So the good thing is the architecture here is eclectic in the sense that it's not cookie cutter. You find some nice surprises depending on what's on the market. Okay, so we're turning off Bayshore Drive and going on to 17th Avenue. We're still in North Coconut Grove. The houses are a little bit more spaced away from each other, let's say, compared to some parts of South Coconut Grove. But again, you have the same mix of, more modern architecture along with homes that were built, many years ago. So to show you this, we have there's a little peacock that's walking across the street here. We have a lot of peacocks in Coconut Grove. And how they got there is subject to different opinions. Yeah, some people think the peacocks are beautiful, some people hate them for different reasons. Okay, so we're on Bayshore Drive again. So lastly, Miami or Coconut Grove has several waterfront properties. They're in different communities. Most of the communities are gated, so you will not be able to enter them unless you have an appointment. However, this area is not gated, and all these homes are on the water. Now, the lots are smaller than compared to other areas in Coconut Grove that are gated, but at least you have an idea of what's out there. And if you're thinking about buying a property here on the water, you know, there's a whole different checklist you need to use as far as if it's something that you want, as far as, you know, what kind of boat do you have. Also, you know, you definitely want to check the seawall, make sure the seawall is in great shape. Things like that. The homes here, again, it goes back to if they're on the water or near the water, you know, price can get rather high. Anywhere from, let's say, 6 million to, let's say, 15 million. I think it's been recent sales that I've seen here. But again, depends on when the house was built, size, that sort of thing. Now, all these that I just went by were on the water. They were on my right or on the water. These also are on the right as well. And these on my right are not on the water, but you can see they're all gated. This bridge in front of me goes to Grove Isle. These were built, I believe, in the 70s or 80s. There's also new development going on there right now as well. The brand new construction. We could probably talk about that in another video. This house to my left, actually it's been on the market as long as I can remember. Often on the market. It's unusual architectural style. Unfortunately, you can't see it too well. This one, I know they're asking about 17 million. But like I said, it's been on the market a while. Not sure why. Often on the market. Sorry about that, I really can't see it from here. Now this is, like I said, these are not gated communities. This is not a gated community. So what we're on now is Bayshore Lane. We just got off Bayshore Drive. This is Bayshore Lane. Actually, LeBron James lived 1 block over, actually 2 blocks over from here. And I think that was about, 12 years ago, I believe. So that gives you an idea. And that's it. I think we've covered the different parts of Coconut Grove. Hi, well, thank you for seeing our looking at the video through Coconut Grove. It was a little bit longer than I anticipated. But just to recap, I showed you areas of the village of Coconut Grove, South Grove, Center Grove, North Grove, and then some waterfront properties. Keep in mind, a lot of people that relocate here are either from out of the state. Once they come here, they don't want to leave. It's a very beautiful city, and I can attest to that because I was raised here. I was born here. I was very fortunate to grow up here. You have different price points. That's one of the reasons why I went to the different areas, so you have an idea of the price points. And yes, it is a little high, depending on where you're coming from. But this place, the Coconut Grove, does attract a lot of young professionals, retirees, and also people that want to raise a family. The location is very nice in the sense that it's very close to downtown. Also, it is close to some public transportation. You're just a few blocks from the Metro Rail. And of course, you're just a few blocks from the local hospital, which is Mercy Hospital. Also, the University of Miami is about 3 miles away. So that makes it very convenient too if you're a student and you're thinking about, or you have a family and you're thinking about going to college nearby. So there are a lot of pluses here. Of course, there are some negatives. As I said, the price, it's a little pricey here. And of course, you have other things that go with that. But other than that, quality of life is fantastic. So if you have any questions, please give me a call or just contact me, schedule an appointment. And also, please subscribe. We'll be dropping content here every week. All right, have a good rest of the day. Thank you, and thanks for viewing.